Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another CounterSide video. Alright, if you guys are not aware, a couple of days ago, we got a hidden patch in C server. And I think it's a good thing to have some hidden patch once in a while, secret, no announcement whatsoever. But if you guys are not aware, one of the biggest one was the ship. Alright, so if you are on C server, now you can have access to the latest, greatest ship, aka Chorus, which I have already built, of course, right here. I'm not sure what's the requirements though, but I was able to build this ship straight up directly. So in today's video, we're gonna make a comparison between this guy, Chorus, beautiful golden ship. Alright, it looks like a freaking gun. I like it. It looks really cool. This is probably one of the best looking ships in my humble opinion, in terms of the looks for sure. Now, after doing some inhibitor raid bosses testing, I can pretty much confidently say perhaps this ship might actually be one of the better ships out there in terms of PVE contents. Alright, just straight up PVE ship. Hopefully, I'll show you guys some data along the way, and let's jump into it. Now, if you guys are not aware, in the C server, alright, hopefully this is something that global players take note of in the future. Enterprise sort of get replaced slightly. I mean, not entirely. Now, what do I mean by got replaced slightly? There's this new ship called Ahab. So Ahab is a very good ship. This is an auxiliary ship. Let me explain what this ship does overall. So this ship, as you can see, it's straight up buff. It just gives a very good passive buff to rangers and snipers. So notice it increased rangers and snipers hit by 30%. The hit is like, it's whatever, it's just straight up bonus similar to how Enterprise works. But attack speed increased by 10%. Now you might be thinking, okay, it's just 10%. What's the big deal? So notice at the ultimate skill right here, this is where it gets really cool. So this particular ship, every time it activates this special terrain, it will knock enemies away. Enemy will lose 80% of speed for 10 seconds. But one thing that you gotta keep in mind, this particular ship also casts a non-cancelable barrier by 20% of max HP. And as long as the barrier is always there, as long as the barrier doesn't get destroyed, it will always increase all allies' attack speed by 10% for this barrier's duration, which is like almost permanent if you are able to activate this. So straight up, your rangers, your snipers are gonna get attack speed plus 20%. Obviously, this 10% only applies to the other characters in your team, right? In terms of your strikers, your supporters, depending on what kind of characters that you bring. I did manage to do a bunch of testing with Ahab previously against Enterprise. So I do think that this ship on average was able to do about 10 to 15% more damage than Enterprise if 1/3 of the team that you use consists of rangers and snipers. Now keep in mind, this was back when I did this testing, was when we have a 24 member team, alright, in terms of the raids. So I did this testing in Inhibitor, I did this testing in Britra as well. So Britra raids and Inhibitor raids. However, the format has since then been changed. You are no longer bringing 24 units, you are bringing 16 units right now, right? So as opposed to 24 units, so right now it's 16 units. But following the concept previously, I'm pretty sure that if you have at least the majority of your entire team in the raid are rangers and snipers, you will straight up do more damage in general compared to Enterprise. Now that's a very big if, because it's very team dependent. You gotta have a bunch of rangers and snipers. So what if you have more strikers? If you have more strikers, I think Enterprise is still going to be better, or New Detroit. So hopefully keep that in mind, right? We have a new ship, aka Chorus, that straight up compete with this ship. And Kamizumi as well, because it's quite similar. Notice this ship straight up increase all allies attack speed by 8%. So this is, everyone is included. So as opposed to like only increase ranger, sniper 10%, this one attack speed 8%. So everybody will straight up get the buff regardless of you bringing strikers, supporters, etc. But the important one is the crit damage of 25%. This is kind of a big boost in terms of the damage. Alright, for the active skill for the special and ultimate, for this ship it doesn't do anything. There's no more buffs. This one just increased evasion overall, which is like cool and all, but it's much more of a defensive buff. And the other one is decrease enemies hit and attack speed by 30%. So decent PvP ship for sure. But in PvE, this is the buffs you are looking for. Ideally, the attack speed plus crit damage is probably the most ideal one. If I'm not mistaken, when this ship first came out, it was way more than this. I think they reworked the entire ship on how it works. I if I remember correctly, it gives way more attack speed back then. Regardless, let's jump into some testing, show you guys, and let's draw some comparison into total damage results. Okay, now first up, we're gonna try to swap the ship to Ahab. So we're gonna test this out in the inhibitor because that's the only raids happening at C server right now. So I'm gonna do the same testing. So everything else is going to be the same except for the ship. Same operator, same unit, same characters. The entire team is gonna be the same one. The only thing that's gonna be different is the ship. Now, unfortunately, I can't really perform the enterprise testing using this method because if I use the enterprise testing, I have to swap some characters differently because this particular ship provides the bonus hit and attack speed, right? And the wall that's standing in front of the inhibitor boss actually has an attack speed check. So basically, the more hits you do to that particular wall, therefore you can kill it faster. So if I use Enterprise, which doesn't give any like attack speed boost whatsoever, that's going to be extremely difficult and I have to change the strat entirely. So it's just going to be straight up a comparison between Ahab and Chorus. Now finalize the damage at the end. So this is the most important part. So notice I'm doing about 6.5 million. Now this is the very most important and crucial part. So we have Kim Sorbin at 1.16 million, 1 million from Awakened Seoyun, about 950,000 from Ifrit. Replacer Queen did about that much. Alright, I tried to do multiple testing. This is going to be a different run, a second run. Usually for testings like this, I try to do a multiple run so that we can get a much bigger sample size and therefore hopefully there's no other external factors like how much you crit, etc that will affect the results. So let's have a look. So this time you can see Kim Sorbin does 1.2 million, 1 million, about 950,000. Again, like roughly around the same, alright? So I like it, but it's about 6.3, 6.5 million. That's how much Ahab can do. Now let's jump into Chorus. Okay, so now we're going to swap the ship to Chorus and hopefully same team. We're going to do a couple of testing and I'll come back with the results at the end. Now, while doing the Chorus testing, unfortunately, I got at the one with the different branch. So this time my Rearm Estarossa helped me out. That's why I can do so much damage. But if you guys notice, suddenly the top damage dealer is no longer Kim Sorbin and Awakened Seoyun, but rather Kim Sorbin and Ifrit, right? So Estarossa did help out here. Rearm Estarossa did a bunch of damage, which is why to make things fair, I try to minus out Rearm Estarossa's contribution to the damage so that we get a much more fair comparison. Now, I did about 7.6 million in that run. So far in my 2 run, actually Rearm Estarossa is in that branch. So Rearm Estarossa did about 720 to 743,000. I'm going to pick the highest one, minus them out, and we get about 6.8 million. Now, this is about what I expect from a Chorus. As you can see, slight damage boost, about 6.8 to 6.9 million, as opposed to Ahab, where Ahab is doing about 6.5, 6.3 to 6.5 million. So overall, I'm noticing about 5 to 8% damage increase, which is kind of good. I think this is a good thing. Pretty much based on my testing, I can conclude that Chorus is a better ship overall. Now keep in mind, I'm also using a team that's very favorable to Ahab. So let's calculate the amount of snipers and rangers in this team. So we have Kim Sorbin, 1. So we also have Awakened Seoyun 2, we have Dorothy 3, we have Replacer Queen 4, we have Shinja 5, we have Tarask 6, and we have Frederick Doma, which is 7. So 7 units, 7 characters out of 16, which is like almost half, right? Out of 16 is like 8, but 7 characters were able to benefit from the Ahab ship. So if you have less than 7 characters, I can see Chorus is gonna start outperforming Ahab way more because Chorus gives a universal buff, whereas Ahab only buffs rangers and snipers more. I can also see this turns the other way around. Like if I start including more rangers perhaps or more snipers into this team, I can potentially see Ahab doing more. But so far, haven't had the need to do so unless there are more sniper buffers that come. So far, the latest one is Dorothy. So yeah, TLDR, if you guys skip to the end, basically Chorus is probably the best PVE ship right now on C server. If you're looking to build a ship, I actually think that this ship might out-damage Enterprise. Now this is something that I think is very important information because in the future, I'm not sure if you guys have heard this. A lot of the players are very afraid of this, right? In the future, you're gonna have this ship command module rearm thing. Then you need to build multiple ships to rearm your ship. I forgot what the system is called. It's going to be a very expensive system overall. Now, if you care about PVE, maybe consider Chorus as opposed to Enterprise, because so far I can wholeheartedly, confidently say that Chorus will overall give you the best DPS output damage out of all the PvE ships out there. Now, PvP is going to be much more dependent on what strat you're trying to run, but PvE, I do think that this ship is going to be the ship, like the go-to ship, right? I need to test it also in the Britra, right? So hopefully once the rotation comes in, we're going to give that a test and give it a go. That's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it and let me know what you guys think of this ship overall. As always, subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.